Well, hello Ramblers, welcome to the channel. So you may recall I'm having some problems with my solar panel on the top of the rig that I mounted myself to keep my batteries charged.
You could be larger than life, bigger than the world, living out the hopes and dreams of every boy and every girl. You could fly higher than the sky, shine brighter than the stars.
We have since purchased this little number here. It's called DuraVolt, and we actually saw this on a different channel, but I gotta tell you, so far I'm already impressed with it. Basically, it is designed for the width of your pin box, and it uses these really high strength magnets to go onto your pin box. You put it on your pin box, you plug it into your pigtail's over there, and so what I'll do is I'll mount this, I'll put it on the pigtail, and we will check back this weekend. Tonight is Thursday. We'll check back this weekend to see how it's doing. Now, it's not supposed to take a battery from absolute dead to fully charged. You can't expect it to do that. So the next big charge that our battery's gonna get is gonna be in a few weeks, but I think it'll trickle in something and at least maybe keep those batteries from frying, which is really kind of my goal right now. So my plan right now is to plug it in. I'll come down this weekend and just check on it. I might plug in my truck to the rig for a bit to see if it'll give us some charge going to assist this. So here's the solar panel, and these magnets are healthy. they are sucking this thing right down to the rig. Now, what I know is that my indicator balls that I use for backing in, they don't go anywhere either. So, and those magnets are pretty strong. These magnets are actually even stronger than that. So I am not gonna worry about leaving this attached. And the way I'll do this is when I'm parked, I will take the cable and run it to the pigtail over there. And when I'm ready to get back on the road, I will coil this up and figure out a way to stow it so that the cable just stays. It does not unplug from the unit. By the way, this unit has a controller in it so that it will not overcharge your battery, which is important, right? The second thing, this unit comes with a built-in fuse. It's right there. It's an automotive style fuse. I don't know if you can see that, but it's an automotive style fuse. So if you have a problem, you could pull that out and look at it. It looks like it's a 20 amp. Looks like it's 20 amp, maybe a 10 amp fuse, I don't know. Maybe a 5, I don't know. Anyway.
We watched a guy run the cording through the pin box into the camper and then down into his battery box over there.
Yeah.
We're not gonna do that. We're just gonna run ours on the outside.
Which you can do that right up here. You can actually snake it in and feed it in up here, and then it'll come down into the battery compartment.
Right.
But because we have the outside outlet over here, I am simply gonna plug it in to my outlet.
And what is that? You called that a pigtail?
This is I call a pigtail. This is just the business end that plugs into the camper, and then it converts back over to automotive style hookups.
And if you don't have that pigtail, you'd have to go direct to the batteries?
And you can, by the way, I'll show you that in just a moment, but this does come with alligator clips where you can clip it just to the battery, or you can direct wire, and I'll show you that in just a second. So I'm just gonna let this hang down just like you see right there while it's parked. Now, here's the bad news. The bad news is, as you can see, it's pretty late in the afternoon here in Las Vegas. It's what, about 6 o'clock?
Mm-hmm.
And so the bad news is that at 6, the solar panel is not getting any sunlight. But during the day, high noon time, and you've probably seen this on some of our videos, this gets a good amount of sunlight. So I think it'll be enough to do everything we need it to do. I think I'll just pull this up a little bit so it's not hanging down
Yeah.
as drastic as it was. kind of like that. Just let it drape a little bit. And so my hope is that by tomorrow, and the rest of the week, of course, it'll get enough sunlight to start feeding a little bit to those batteries. I feel really anxious about the batteries because when a lead acid battery goes completely dead, it'll fry in a heartbeat, especially if there's any heat around. And it's gotten up to 90 here over the last few days. So I'm hoping they were brand new. They're literally 4 months old. I am hoping that we got to them in time. If we didn't, a very expensive lesson learned on my part of what can happen when your solar panel doesn't work. I expect this one to work quite well. I'm very happy about it. Okay, as I mentioned, there are several ways you can connect the solar panel to your battery. You've already seen that I connect it to my outlet that's on the front of the rig. That outlet right behind there is the battery compartment, and it has wires that go straight to the batteries, okay? But I also mentioned to you that it comes with alligator clips, right? So the alligator clips would plug into the panel connection, and then you would clip them onto the positive and negative end of your battery. Take great care to ensure that when you plug them into your battery, when you clip them onto your battery, you're doing negative to negative, positive to positives. Some batteries look like they're red and black. Sometimes they use white and black, whereas the white is the negative and the black is the power, or vice versa. Just make sure you know what you're doing. The battery will have it clearly marked on it, which is the positive terminal and which is the negative terminal. Make sure you hook it up correct.
Is there any danger to leaving that hooked up that way inside the camper, with the batteries inside the camper? I mean, is there any risk of electrical charge or anything?
To leave the clips on?
Yeah.
I would undo them, because you've got some exposed here, and if something got into that hole there,
okay,
you could short your batteries or cause a fire, even if it was goofy enough.
So you're better off to hardwire it if you're going to leave it there for any length of time?
Yeah, and you can do just that with this piece.
Gotcha.
This actually will attach to the posts, and again, positive to positive, negative to negative, and then you plug it into the incoming panel jack where it comes in. So this is a way you could hardwire it and just let it float in there. These clips, I would just pull them off.
And then, are we leaving it there going down the road, or you have to remove it?
For this one?
Either way, are we going to have to disassemble that?
No, the panel's going to stay on there. I'm going to coil that cable up. I'll put the pigtail inside by the batteries going down the road. I'll coil up that cable, figure out a way for it to ride safely, and we'll just leave the panel on there. Those magnets, that panel's not going anywhere.
Gotcha.
Not going anywhere. What I will tell you is that I think the cleanest way is if you have an outlet on the front of your rig. That's the best way. You just plug it into your panel, and you're good to go. So we're gonna, as I told you, we're gonna check back this weekend and see what it's doing, if anything. And like I said, hopefully I didn't lose the batteries. What I will also tell you, the beauty about this is that it's for what it is and what you're going to use it for, and for the health of saving your batteries. It's $150 price range, which is not cheap, but it's maybe the cost of a battery at the most, or so, and it will protect your batteries from now on. This is on here so firm that I literally don't want to, I'm scared I'm going to break it by pulling it off. And it has little bolts that hold the magnets on, which means it could very well look like it is actually bolted onto your pin box, which I like that. Somebody comes up to it, they pull on it, it's hard to pull, they realize that it's screwed on there, and they leave it alone, right? Okay, hey, just want to tell you also, you can get this on Amazon. That's where I got it. I'll put a link down below for you. I also got my pigtail off of Amazon. It's a pretty standard piece of equipment for working around the RV, and I'll put a link for that as well. I got that from Amazon as well. And as you might recall, I bought a whole bunch of cable because my other solar panel is on the back of the rig, and this cable is now kind of obsolete. So I'm going to get rid of it before I leave in a few minutes and put it away. And then eventually I'll take that other panel off of the ladder that I have it mounted to, and we'll just store it. I'll do another test or two on it to see if it's working at all. The indicator light says it's working, but it's not getting to the battery for some reason.
We now return to the Extreme Baking Championship on the Food Network.
Hi everybody. Easter always makes me feel like cooking, or it's spring, I don't know which, but I'm definitely a spring girl. I know some of my friends are fall girls, but I'm a spring girl, and it always makes me, the dogs are of course joining me because I'm making food. Anyway, so it always makes me want to cook, and at Easter especially, there's a lot of food around Easter that I enjoy making, and I thought I would just make some quick banana blueberry bars for you guys this morning. I happen to have some really overripe bananas, and I hate to waste food. I hate to waste bananas. So I didn't get to them in time. That's a really hard, your window of opportunity with bananas is not great. So I happen to have some blueberries. I happen to have these bananas. So I thought, what a great opportunity to, make some banana blueberry bars for you guys this morning. So we're just gonna, it's quick, it's easy. We're gonna mash up these bananas, and then we're gonna move on from there. So I've got my bananas peeled and in the bowl, and I'm going to spray a 13 by 9 glass baking dish. You could also do this in a small jelly roll pan, sheet pan, 15 by 10, I would say, if you want them a little thinner. These are going to rise up and be a little thicker. Got my oven on 350, and I'm going to use my fancy dancy potato masher to mash up my bananas real good. You don't want them, completely mushy. You want them to have a little bit of texture to them. But there's 5 bananas in here, and we're just gonna get the old arm wrestling moves in here. And I was a arm wrestler back in the day. Anyway, all right. So getting our bananas mashed up. And let's see if you can see that. See, it's just mushy. All right, guys, so I've got my bananas mashed up. To that, I'm gonna add 3/4 of a cup of white sugar. We're gonna do 1/4 of a cup of milk. And I've got 1/4 of a cup of oil, just regular oil. We're gonna mix that all up, get that going. The other thing you can do if your bananas are overripe, you can freeze them in the peel. Just stick them in the freezer, and they're great for smoothies, or you can even thaw them out and use them later in recipes. So I've got 2 eggs. I've been getting these Happy eggs. I love these eggs. They're beautiful in color, organic, cage-free. I really, really like them. So we're gonna add 2 eggs. All right, so we're gonna mix in the eggs. This is looking beautiful. You wanna get those good and incorporated. So here's what our mix looks like so far. We're gonna add a teaspoon of vanilla. Always use a good vanilla. Okay, now we've got all of our wet ingredients in here. Now we're going to add our dry. So in here I've got 1 3/4 cups of flour and a teaspoon of baking soda. All right, so that's going in. You just put it all in at once. You don't have to use the big mixer for this unless you want to, but really this particular bar is better if it's got a little texture to it. I mean, it's really a very simple recipe. Don't forget to spray your pan so that it doesn't stick to the bottom. And we're gonna cook this for about 20 minutes or until the edge is brown and a toothpick inserted in the middle comes out clean. And then we're gonna do a little powdered sugar glaze on top. And that's just gonna be 1/4 of a cup of powdered sugar And we're gonna add hot water, 2 to 3 tablespoons of hot water to our powdered sugar, because if you add milk, it's going to just create an icing consistency. If you add hot water to the powdered sugar, it's gonna make it shinier and real pretty. All right, we're just gonna pour this into our pan. And again, 350 degrees for about 20 minutes, and I'll meet you guys right back here.
Everybody ready to make some history?
Always am.
I think I forgot something.
What?
I don't know. It's probably nothing. Oh, God.
19.
Now I remember.
18.
What?
Where is it?
17.
What?
16.
We can't lift off without it.
15,
Jordy, we've got to abort.
14,
No! No, wait, I
13,
found it!
12.
I forgot the blueberries. You want about 2 cups of blueberries? I've got probably a cup, which is not a big deal. It would be better if I had more. But listen, all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna dump my blueberries in here and I'm gonna stir them into my mix, and it's gonna be just fine. That's what happens when you're cooking, you know? Sometimes you forget stuff. This way, actually, the blueberries are I'm gonna let them sit kind of on top, and I think that's gonna make it prettier because I don't have as many blueberries as the recipe calls for. Our banana blueberry bars are out of the oven. I've got a cup of powdered sugar here, and to that I'm just gonna add 2 or 3 tablespoons of water, hot water. Like I said before, by using the hot water, it's gonna make it shiny and harden just a little bit on top of the warm cake. I should say I let it cool a little bit. So what we want is we want a pourable consistency. You can always add more powdered sugar or more water, whichever the case may be, but this is a starting point. If you wanted a little flavor, you could also add a little lemon juice to this, or a little vanilla. Vanilla is going to change the color a little bit, but we just want a consistency. You get this all dissolved in here, and you want to be able to, so we're going to just do this, and this is going to tell you, you know, if it's going to stream across the cake okay or not. So I think that's probably pretty good. So yeah, just mix it up until it's a nice smooth consistency, and you're just going to drizzle it over the top of the cake. So I'm just going to take it out and use a smaller spoon for this so you don't get, you know, big globs or whatever. But we're just gonna drizzle it across, back and forth, and then I'll probably go the other direction. And yeah, if you do this on a warm cake, it's gonna spread out a little bit more. If you wait until the cake cools a little bit, then it's gonna, you know, stay in its position a little bit better. Thanks you guys for coming in and watching. And I'm gonna cut a piece of this. We're gonna give it a try here in just a second. And then I gotta find some people to feed it to. So, anyway, yeah, this is a great thing to do with leftover bananas when you've got some and they're overripe. Like I said, I hate for things to go to waste. So this is always a good thing to do. So let's cut a piece here and see how it is. It looks pretty good. Looks good. Very good. It's light, moist, very banana-y. And I can taste the blueberries too. So yeah, came out great. Thanks you guys so much for coming in today and joining me in my kitchen. We'll see you soon.
Okay, so mission accomplished. We're heading home now. But I just wanted to say, please remember to like, share, and subscribe. And we'll see you next week.